Welcome to Everything Arsenal. That was not meant to happen. That was not supposed to happen. That was not part of the plans I had during the international break. And I'm afraid to say we might have bottled it. During the international break, I was very confident. I actually did say Crystal Palace and Brighton, we should at least pick up 4 points from that. And then we have some tough away games coming up, the likes of West Ham and Tottenham away. Maybe you can end up drawing that or losing 2 games. So during the international break, when we had 10 games remaining, I did say we were going to win 6, lose 2, and draw 2. Now, we've already lost those 2 games I was expecting us to lose. And we've lost those 2 games before playing against Tottenham away, playing against West Ham away, playing against Chelsea away, playing against Man United at home. We've already lost those 2 games. Now, there's only space to draw 2 more games and win every other 6 of the 6 games. Is that possible? I'm afraid not. So I think we might have bottled it. We had a chance literally since United drew and lost the last 2 games. We had a chance to go 6 points ahead of them, or 9 points actually, 9 points ahead of Man United, and literally just put the gap between us for the entire season. We had the chance of going above Tottenham today, hoping Aston Villa could do something. Now, even if Aston Villa do something today against Tottenham, we are not gaining an advantage. They are just actually helping us because we just lost a game. That's the only thing that is actually happening. Tottenham are still ahead of us in terms of goal difference. If they win today, they're ahead of us by 3 points and like 6 or 7 goals. And that is a bad position to be in. I did not expect us to lose those 2 games. I was hoping the worst that could happen is a draw and a win, 4 points from those 2 games. But we've ended up losing against Brighton and Crystal Palace. And I didn't actually mind losing against Crystal Palace. Yes, I did mind losing by 3 goals. But it's a tough place to go. But losing at home to Brighton, definitely not. That is a game you should win. Brighton have not scored a goal in almost years. They've not scored a goal. I watched them playing against Tottenham away from home like a month ago. They are absolutely battered in the FA Cup. I saw them playing against Man United. They lost at Old Trafford. That is not the kind of game to lose. Basically, we've not beaten Brighton this season, and they might have cost us Champions League football again, like they did 2 years ago when Bissouma was laughing at us. That is a bad result to have. I did not definitely expect that. And I don't know where we go from here because, yes, Southampton have lost by 6 goals today against Chelsea. But I think they're not going to have the same performance next week. They always do that. They always lose 9-0 in a season, and then the next 2-3 games, they actually just wake up from nowhere and end up winning those games. So that is a damaging defeat. And Man United play against Norwich next week. Tottenham have the likes of Brentford to play against at home and all that. And for us, we're playing Southampton away next. So we could actually be laughing at Man United and they could be back on top of us next week when we had the chance of going 9 points ahead of them. So that is very damaging. And that's not only it. Like the players' performance today, they did not turn up at all. We waited for the last 5 minutes. I actually thought you could have been there for another 2 hours and you wouldn't have scored until that deflected goal from Ødegaard. I thought the players who are coming in are very poor. And I actually did say during the international break, I literally did a video talking about you cannot afford getting injuries. And the video title was Arsenal cannot afford to get the 3 players who cannot afford to get injuries if Arsenal are going to get top 4. And Partey was number 1, and he ended up getting injured. And you can see the difference. Lokonga coming in for Partey, there is a huge difference there. So obviously missing Tomiyasu, Cedric playing. Cedric did okay for like 2-3 games, but recently you've seen him getting exposed. Obviously, having to play Jacques at left back does not help. He does not attack. He does not defend. He's a bit slow. He makes unnecessary tackles. You lose a lot when you don't have Tierney. So, yes, we do have a very good team, a good starting 11, a good team spirit. But whenever 2 or 3 of our players get injured, we are in big trouble. Now, Saka went down today. Smith Rowe went down today. I thought Smith Rowe was poor today, by the way. When both of them went down today, I was just holding my face. Like, if Saka gets injured right now, that's our season over. The fixtures, guys, the fixtures. Yes, there's no easy game in the Premier League, but you still have to go to West Ham, Chelsea, Tottenham, play Man United. And can you really do that with Lokonga and Tavares and El Neni and Ketia coming on from the bench? I don't think so, man. So that's a very damaging defeat. I am not feeling confident anymore. We are depending on Aston Villa to get something against Tottenham. Tottenham are on fire. If they win that game, they're 3 points ahead of us, and that means our advantage is gone. The advantage we had of 2 games in hand, 3 points ahead, that advantage is gone now. So we have to do, if we're going to get top 4, we have to do it the hard way. We have to go to Tottenham and win. we have to play Man United and win. We have to do it the hard way. We have to do it for ourselves. We can't depend on anyone else now. We have to do it for ourselves. We have to beat them. And we still have a game in hand. So if we still win our game in hand and Tottenham win today, we are still on equal points, but we have to win that away game at Tottenham. And is it going to be possible? I really don't think so, unfortunately. So that is a huge damaging defeat. So let's take a look at how the lineup looked like today. Obviously, we had to make a lot of changes because of the unfortunate injuries they suffered. Not the ideal time. They literally got injured at the wrong time. These players got injured at the wrong time, the worst time to get injured. 2 times during the December period where you have like 6 or 7 games. That's the first worst time to get injured. And then the second worst time to get injured is during this time, the last 5-6 games of the season, when it's crucial and you need to get top 4. It's very hard. So we did have Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Cedric on the right, Ben White, Gabriel, and Xhaka as the back players. Smith Rowe, Albert Sambi, Lokonga, and Martin Ødegaard as the midfielders. Gabriel Martinelli, Lacazette, and Bukayo Saka as the forward players. Like, we literally tried everything today. Saka moved to the left side, Martinelli moved to left back, Granit Xhaka came to midfield. All that did not work. And I didn't actually expect Brighton to get 2 goals. One, yes, I did say we are going to win 2-1, but one, like, getting 2 goals for them, the second goal was incredible, and Mwepu for them was incredible. He's actually rated a 9.1, and I actually agree with that. Sanchez, Cucurella, Dank, Veltman, Trossard, Caicedo, Bissouma, Mwepu, Gross, McAllister, Welbeck. It's not actually the same team they usually go for. No Lamptey here, no Mope there. Like, it's a different team from what they usually go for. So in terms of stats, we had 65% possession, they had 35. We had 20 shots, they had 8. We only had 4 on targets. We had that disallowed goal from Martinelli. Obviously, that was pretty damaging. I thought it was offside the first time I saw it. When Martinelli was celebrating, I actually thought, why are we celebrating it? That looked quite much offside, and it ended up being offside. We had 11 corner kicks. The last corner kick, whatever Pepe was trying to do without corner kick, I was so frustrated. How can you take a short corner kick when there's 30 seconds remaining and then you pass it back to the guy and you clearly know it's offside? You can't do that, man. You can't do that. And 10 minutes before, we had a free kick and we took it short as well. And the next free kick we take, Ødegaard almost hits the post. Like, why would you take short corners and short free kicks when you're trying to get an equalizer or a fast goal for yourself? I literally do not understand why we would do that. That was very frustrating and annoying. We obviously hit the woodwork 2 times. We had 13 shots inside the box. Their goalkeeper had 3 saves to make. Ramsdale only had 1 save to make. In terms of passes, we've obviously made almost double theirs. Our accuracy in terms of passes, we had more long balls, we had more crosses, we had more dribbles. They completed more than us. They won more duels. They won more aerial duels. They were more committed than us from the first minutes. They made more tackles, more interceptions, more clearances. And as you can see in terms of the table, we are now, like, how many goals behind Tottenham? We are now on plus 9 goals, and Tottenham are on, is that plus 15? My goodness, we are 6 goals behind them, and if they win today, they'll be 3 points and like 8 goals ahead of us. So that is bad. That is literally very, very bad. And not only that, tomorrow if West Ham beat Brentford, we are going to 6th position. So it's getting worse and worse. If West Ham win, we are going to 6th position. And again, I think next week we have to wait for others to play before we play. It's not ideal. Brighton had not won a game in I don't know how long, and we let them win. We hit the post. Yes, we are unlikely had a disallowed goal, but there's no excuses. There's literally no excuses at all. So definitely not happy with that. Let me see what you guys are saying about that game. Top 4 race full of bottlers, says Jaden. Let's see about Tottenham. I actually do have a bad feeling you guys will win, so let's see how it goes. Sentiment says, outplayed, outcoached, Ole Gunnar Arteta, bottle job. Today was not great at all. So, and that squad depth is now a big worry, because every time I look at our bench, I'm like, there's nothing there at all. Chelsea can bring in Pulisic, sometimes Havertz, Man City can bring in a lot of players. When you look at Nketiah, you look at El Neni, there's nothing we're bringing from the bench. So we were literally 2 injuries away from disaster. We got 3, and that is disastrous for us. Arsenal and United should have made transfer in winter, but they didn't. Conte is coming for them. Could be true. Palace was going to be hard. Anu says, I still believe Arsenal can make top 4. There's still a chance, yes, but we've obviously made it not impossible, but we've made it very hard. We had Crystal Palace and Brighton. if something wrong is going to happen from that, at least pick up 4 points, not 0. Now, we have West Ham away coming up. We have Tottenham away coming up. We have Chelsea away coming up. We have Man United at home coming up. Obviously, if we win 3 out of those 4 games, you're going to get top 4. But what are the chances of us going to Tottenham and winning for the first time since, like, how long was it, like 2014 or something? What is the chance of us going to win at Stamford Bridge for only the second time in like 10 years? What is the chance of us winning at West Ham? Last season, they scored 3 goals within 20 minutes against us at their place until we had to make a comeback. What is the chance of beating Man United at home as well? But the clubs is on other clubs, not us exactly. Arsenal have Chelsea, United, Spurs, West Ham have Brighton, Liverpool, Leicester, and Arsenal as their hardest games. So yeah, even if you say Spurs are going to lose to Liverpool, you can probably say the same about Arsenal losing to Chelsea. So that will leave Arsenal and Tottenham on the same points. Unless Tottenham lose today. Now, before the international break, I said our chances of getting top 4 was 8 out of 10. After losing that game, our chances have dropped down to like 4 out of 10. Now, if Tottenham win this game, that drops down to like 2 out of 10 if Tottenham beat Aston Villa. If Tottenham lose, we could stay at 4 out of 10, just because the games that are coming up are hard, and we've bottled I'd say the easiest home game. Yes, we still have to play Everton at home and those kind of teams, but we've bottled the easiest games we had during the run. Those were the easiest games to play. Crystal Palace is not easy. Let me correct myself. Crystal Palace is not easy. Crystal Palace have not been beaten by Man City this season. They beat City. They beat Tottenham 3-0 as well. They're not easy. I'm pretty sure they'll beat United and they play them later on this season. But losing it that kind of way, 3-0, like literally they would have had 4 or 5. We literally collapsed totally in the first 20 minutes. And then losing to their rivals, Brighton, immediately in the next game, the game you're supposed to bounce back. I think this is the 3rd time we are losing back-to-back games. When you lost to Chelsea and City and Brentford at the start of the season, we went on a good run after that. When you lost to Everton and Man United in December, we went on a good run after that. So that's the only hope. But the games that we have, totally disastrous. And that is back-to-back defeats now. And that is 3 defeats out of the last 4 games. That definitely does not deserve top 4. And it would absolutely pain me if we let Tottenham get that top 4 after we had that kind of advantage. There's a time Tottenham were like 8th, like a month ago. And they literally let that advantage slip up. Now, there's something that will definitely happen. Now, I know Tottenham are not Man City. I'm sure Tottenham will not win every single game. I'm pretty sure about Tottenham, like when they face like a Brighton or a Southampton or something, I'm pretty sure there's someone they'll draw or lose a game we're not expecting them to lose. But that is the problem with us as well. How can you be sure that you're going to go to Newcastle and win? I cannot be sure anymore. Are we going to beat Everton at home? I cannot be sure anymore. So we had the chance of extending the gap to Man United to 9 points this week. We had that chance, but we've bottled it. Man United play Norwich next week. We play Southampton. As I said at the beginning, Southampton have lost 6-0, but can you confidently say we'll beat them? You can't, because we never win there as well. So frustrating, says Cookie. Hopefully Tottenham bottle it. We are really hoping. We are really reaching. Yes, Aston Villa definitely capable of that, but it still would be, they'll still be ahead of us even if they lost. And next week, I don't even know which team they're playing next week. I think we definitely have harder games than them. We still share the top 4 race with Spurs. We need them to lose versus Villa, not Villa. Villa is if you're in Spain. But yeah, if we say that, Cookie, Man United play Norwich next week. If they win, let me just show you the table. So we play Southampton next week. I don't know which team will play before the other. So let me just see this. So Tottenham are on 54, we're on 54, Man United and West Ham are on 51. West Ham play against Brentford tomorrow. If they win that, they're on 54. They will be ahead of us. We'll be 6th on the table. Man United play against Norwich next week. We play at home to Norwich next week, and we play against Southampton away. Yes, United have a goal difference of 7. You have a goal difference of 9. I'm pretty sure it's not hard to score 2 goals against Norwich. So if they score that, they'll be ahead of us. Man United will be ahead of us. So the only way we can get top 4 is if we beat both Tottenham and Man United. In Steven Gerrard, we trust, says, I did finish this comment. We can still believe patenting injuries are what's caused this, which they are in some injury prone. Unfortunately, they are. So the players who are coming from the bench, not good enough. In Steven Gerrard, we trust, says HJ, and the North London derby will be so crucial, man. Before we get there, HJ, we could easily be 7 points behind them by the time we get there, and that is what we are trying to avoid. Anu says, if Arsenal didn't make top 4, we have lost out since January transfer window. Yeah, that is definitely what people will. If we don't get top four, you'll hear a lot of why did we let Aubameyang go? You'll hear a lot of why didn't you sign a striker in January? You'll hear a lot about backup players. You know, we bottled it. We had the easiest games. It's, I think, March or something. It didn't go our way, guys. It did not go our way. So that is a huge loss for us. 2-0 to Brighton. We have Tottenham. Tottenham are playing against Aston Villa very soon. Let's just hope that you do get something from this one. So let me do the player ratings. Let me quickly do the player ratings. So let me just type it in. It's going to be a very low player ratings, by the way. It's going to be very, very low, in fact. It's not going to be a good player ratings at all. So let's get to the player ratings. The first one is Aaron Ramsdale. Obviously, I have given him a 5 for today. He literally had one save to make. He did not have anything to do. He's considered 2 goals, obviously. He considered the first goal, and Brighton did not attack again. And they came to the second half and got another chance, and they made it 2-0, and that was it. So I'm just going to give Ramsdale a 5. I don't think you can give him anything higher or less. So 5 for Ramsdale. Jacques, I'm going to give him a 5. I mean, it's not his position. We all know that he's not a left back, so we don't really expect him to attack or to make tackles. The first goal came from that side very, very easily, like 1-2, and they were through very easily. Did he get a yellow Jacques today? Let me just see. No, he didn't pick up a yellow card today, so I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he was disaster. He moved to midfield in the second half. We played slightly better in the second half, so I'm just going to give Jacques a 5 for today. Cedric, I'm going to give him a 3. Again, the second goal, 1-2, right, like next to him, very, very easily. Did not do anything today. The free kick he took, absolutely woeful. Some corners, instead of putting the ball inside the box, the communication was out of place. Cedric gets a 3 for today. Gabriel gets a 3. Now, a couple of slightly misjudged passes. I think he gave away the ball like in the first 7 minutes. He did hit the post. And in the first 30 minutes, Gabriel was actually playing as a striker. We are playing long ball like Stoke and Burnley. We are putting the ball inside the box, and Gabriel is playing up front. But again, a few times he's always ragged, all over the place sometimes. So I'm going to give him a 3. Bennett, I'm going to give a 4. I think he was slightly better, but below average, not as usual, like the way they usually get like 6s and 7s when you keep clean sheets. Speaking of clean sheets, I did say in one of the predicted lineups that now with the injuries, I don't expect us to keep clean sheets anymore. I did say in my prediction show as well on Everything Football, like after the injuries, I don't expect Arsenal to keep the clean sheets as many clean sheets as we were keeping like the last 4 or 5 months. Lokonga, I'm going to give a 4. I mean, we all know, like when Pat is not there, Lokonga coming in, it's not the answer, man. It's not the answer. Lokonga needs someone in the middle. He needs to play with Pat and not by himself. He does not work at all. Like he was in the first half, he was bullied a couple of times. In the second half, he did make some promising runs up front, won a couple of free kicks for us, and they actually did take a very good shot in the second half. Could have scored, could have been a banging goal. He had 2 good shots in the second half. So maybe I'm unfair to give him a 4. Maybe you could give him a 5, but I'm going to stick with the 4 for today for Lokonga. Next up is Martin Ødegaard. Now, this was actually a 3 before the last 10 minutes where he had that free kick and he had that goal that was deflected. I'm going to give him a 5 because of he brought us back to the game. But apart from that, like a couple of times, really, really awful, very quiet the last 2 games. He was incredible during the international break. I don't know what has happened since the return. So Ødegaard gets a 5. And then Smith Rowe, this is the first time I'm giving Smith Rowe such a score. He's going to get a 3. I think he was terrible. This is the second time. Crystal Palace, he had 2 chances. One of them was weak. The other was, I don't know if it was blocked or something. Today, he had the chance in the first half. You need to take the shot immediately, Smith Rowe. You need to take it immediately, and he didn't. And he gave Dunk time to block the ball. Today, on the left wing, there's a time Mwepu nutmegged him and ran away with the ball. He gave away the ball a couple of times again, very unneeded. Had the chance to give a quick pass a couple of times again. He had the chance to cross the ball, hit the first player. So this is one of the lowest ratings I'm going to give Smith Rowe. I'm going to give him a 3. And then next up is going to be Saka. I'm going to give him a 5. I was very worried when he went down with an injury. Luckily, got up again. In the final 10 minutes, he did have a couple of fluffed crosses. Should have done better. Actually, should have done better in that last 10 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if any of you gave him a 4 or something. He had to cover right wing back, right wing, left side a bit again. So I'm just going to give him a 5 again. I don't know if he was on one of those corners that we took short. I don't like short corners when you're trailing in the game. Don't do that. Martinelli, I'm going to give him a 5. Always energetic. The final ball today, though, I don't think he was good enough. Unfortunately, again, I'm just going to have to give him a 5 again for today. Lacazette, guys. Can we talk about Lacazette? Can we talk about Lacazette? I've given Lacazette the lowest score from everyone today. I'm going to give him a 2. I literally saw him giving away the ball in the first 5 minutes, and I struggled to see him again. He's the captain. In fact, even what he has been doing the last 5-6 games, I did not see. Like, asking for decisions, being in the players' faces, the likes of Xhaka, asking them to do more. I don't think he would have asked anyone to do more today. I think he was the one who needed to do more. So, Lacazette gets a 2. Very terrible. I saw a stat that from the last 1,000 minutes that Lacazette has played, he's only taken 4 shots. He's a striker. You cannot take 4 shots from the last 1,000 minutes. That is unacceptable, man. That is absolutely unacceptable. So just 1 shot from all those games, Lacazette, that is not enough. He did not look convinced. Every time he got the ball, he looked isolated. I don't know what the formation was. So Lacazette gets a 2 for today, the lowest score. From the bench players, I am going to give Nketiah a 5. I think he did try. He did have a header that was almost an equalizer. He did have a shot that hit the post as well. I don't know if I should have missed though. Well, I'm going to give him a 5. I think he was just above average during his tennis. I think if we were going to score, believe it or not, it was going to be Nketiah who was going to score for us. Pepe had given him a 5 before the last minute. So I'm literally going to change that right now because I wrote the 5 during the 91st minutes before he made that stupid corner. I'm going to give him a 3 for today. Yes, maybe you guys would say he deserves to start, not deserves. Maybe he needs to start to show us something, to give him time to show us something. But I don't know, man. Every time Pepe comes in, he's like Hudson-Odoi for Chelsea and those kind of players. These days, like, we remember when we had Smith Rowe on the bench, Martinelli on the bench. I used to feel like if Smith Rowe is going to come on, he's going to get a goal. And he did, like the whole of December. Same with Martinelli, like the whole of November. He usually came on and got a goal. Pepe did help us against Wolves like a month ago. But every time these days Pepe comes on, I literally do not feel confident, guys. Would I be willing to sell him for 20 million during the summer? I would. If someone like Barcelona asked for Pepe or Inter Milan asked for Pepe, I would very much be willing to sell him. I don't know about you guys. Would you be willing to sell Pepe? And how much do you think we should be asking for him? Because I don't think he's living up to expectations at all. So I'm going to give Pepe a 3 for today. It's that corner. You can't do that. That is very cowardly, man. You cannot be given a corner and then you literally pass it back. You cannot do that. You've been given the ball to turn and hit the cross, whip in the cross with the left foot. You cannot do that in the last minute. You never know where the ball would have gone. So Pepe gets a 3, and that shows you did not have anyone on the bench because he literally brought on 2 subs. And Arteta, I'm going to be very harsh today. I'm going to give him a 2. No way you cannot lose back-to-back games against Crystal Palace and Brighton. That is not acceptable. The most crucial parts of the season, you cannot do that. Again, we usually get excited when we start with this lineup, by the way. You see this lineup on screen. We usually get excited when you start with that. Like, wow, Ødegaard is playing, Martinelli is playing, Lacazette is on the pitch, Saka is on the pitch, all of them, like Martinelli, all of them, all 5 of them on the pitch, like we're going to attack. I think we've played with all 5 of them like 4 times this season. Sometimes it used to be Aubameyang instead of Lacazette, but you get the picture, like all those attacking players at the same time. I don't think we've played well in any of those games. I think we had all of them at the same time against Burnley. We didn't score. It was terrible. We had all of them at the same time against Burnley at home as well. Is it Burnley? I think it was against Norwich at home in the 4th game of the season. It did not work out as well. So I don't think having Martinelli, Ødegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, Lacazette on the pitch is actually convinces us that you're going to have a lot of shots and get a lot of chances. It actually doesn't. We are very poor yet again with all of them on the pitch. Now, that could be down to Arteta. That is why he's getting a 2. A bit of a few poor tactics all the time. An Arsenal player had the ball. They looked very isolated. We were dominated in midfield. I think having Lokonga by himself on the in midfield was suicidal. If you go back to the predicted lineup, I did say this. You have to have Xhaka and Lokonga in midfield together. You cannot have just one of them. You cannot have Lokonga in midfield by himself. That is suicidal. He cannot handle it. He cannot handle it. And you saw it today. And Tottenham have already scored. Yeah, it's not looking good for us, guys. Tottenham have already scored a goal in the first 2 minutes. It's not looking good. They're looking like they're going 3 points ahead of us. And Arteta gets a 2 for today. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So let's go through the player ratings again. Ramsdale gets a 5, did not have anything to do. Xhaka gets a 5, could be a 4, depending on what you think. Cedric gets a 3, Gabriel gets a 3, Ben White gets a 4, Lokonga gets a 4, Ødegaard gets a 5 because mostly of those last 10 minutes. Smith Rowe gets a 3, Saka gets a 5, Martinelli gets a 5, Lacazette gets a 2. From the bench players, Nketiah gets a 5, Pepe gets a 3, and Arteta gets a 2. But I've actually seen a comment from David saying Nketiah is a 6. I wouldn't mind that. I actually think if you're going to get a goal, it was literally going to be him. Like that shot it took, hit the post. I think he had one good cross. He also, had that header where Sanchez saved it as well. So HJ Ali had said the North London derby will be so crucial. And what was my reply to that, HJ? By the time we face Tottenham, we could be 7 points behind them. That's the problem. So I don't know, man. I think we've literally let ourselves down with that game today. I think this was the biggest chance to go above Tottenham. And even if they win, we're still ahead of them. And I have a bad feeling we might have bottled it unless we beat Tottenham and Man United. And how easy is that to do? We've not beaten Crystal Palace and Brighton, and we still have to go to West Ham, to Chelsea, to Tottenham, at home to Man United. You have a chance in those games when you have Partey and Tierney. I think when you're depending on the likes of Tavares, El Neni, and Lokonga, it's a whole different story again. It's a different story. We don't have the squad, and we have the toughest schedule from those teams up there with West Ham and Tottenham. So why are we talking about the top 4? No Partey, no Tierney, no Tomias. There's nothing left. Could be right. I'm afraid it could be right. Top 4 is if Tottenham lose today. And against us, their last games are Norwich and Burnley. Yeah, they have a lot easy games, and this is the one that we thought they would drop points, and they are winning already within the first 2 minutes. So it's not looking great for us. I'm pretty sure they've updated the table as we speak. I'm pretty sure they've actually updated the table. Let's just confirm that. Yep, they've actually taken Tottenham to 57 points already. They've taken Tottenham to 57 points already. So that means we will be 3 points behind Tottenham. Yes, we still have a game in hand, but our game in hand is away to Chelsea. They just won 6-0 today. It doesn't matter. We don't have Benzema to score a hat-trick against them. And they're on form, man. They're on actual form, Tottenham. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. Those injuries to Tomiyasu, Tierney, and Partey happened at the wrong time. Now, the problem is we're actually looking at Tottenham, as David said. West Ham win tomorrow and they're ahead of us. Man United win next week and they're ahead of us. That's the crazy thing. We could be the ones who are 7th by the time we get to next week, unfortunately. So, it is not looking good at all. So, in terms of Arsenal's man of the match, do we really have a man of the match? Who did I give a higher rating? I mean, I think we're struggling to pick up man of the match. I don't think it's any of the defenders. It's definitely not Lokonga. Ødegaard was okay for the last 5 minutes. Definitely not Smith Rowe. Not Saka, not Martinelli, definitely not Lacazette. I'm actually tempted to say Nketiah was our best player today for 5 minutes. I think he was the one who was actually trying to make something happen with Ødegaard in the last 5 minutes. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. Aston Villa are falling apart already. They're fouling guys. They're picking up yellow cards. They've already given away a goal. So 2-1 loss to Brighton. It felt like 2-0. Does not even really matter how long we lost, but it's going to be hard. We can even take a look at the fixtures just quickly before I end it, and we take a look at Tottenham's game and hope that. So clearly already the best that could happen is Tottenham drawing today's game. I don't think Aston Villa will get us 2 goals. So let's go to Arsenal. Chelsea, that is the difficult week where we're playing Southampton away and then playing Chelsea away and then playing Man United at home. That is going to be really, really hard. And we've lost 3 of the last 4 games, obviously. And things are looking good. Like, I was very confident. Like, after we beat Wolves twice, we beat Watford, beat Leicester. Things are looking great, but things have fallen apart. Southampton next on 16th. Will that be on a Saturday? Yeah, it will be on a Saturday. So, doesn't really matter, guys. I think it's going to be very hard for us to recover from this. Let me know if you're watching this on replay. What did you make of that game? Have we actually bottled top 4? Are you still confident? What do you think will happen? I am not confident anymore, unfortunately. Absolutely not confident anymore. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll definitely catch up with you guys if I'll be okay on the next one.